I remember in high school I used to weigh roughly 170 something pounds. I was pretty fit. I had gym class every day. My cardio was really excellent. I used to run really fast, full sprint for quite a while. Um, I used to be really fit. I used to work out pretty much every day at school, and I felt really happy with myself. I noticed that was in grade 12. I noticed right after that, once I got into college, and when I started building these bad habits of eating unhealthy, uh, not doing any physical fitness, I ended up gaining a lot of weight. In the year 2021, after I graduated from college, I found myself to be working this 9 to 5 job where at a grocery store where I want for some reason I was really stupid. I wanted to pursue that type of career. I wanted to get really, knee deep in that industry, and doing that, the whole uh, practice or the whole method of getting there was to work a lot of hours for a very long time. There were people who were working there 8 years plus who were trying to get into this higher position, and for whatever reason I thought I could do that, but that's besides the point. But because of that, I was in such a not depressive, but I was in such a toxic, workplace surrounded by idiots, toxic people. I was eating so much carbs. I was eating a whole case of croissants every day, just eating all these horrible foods that just were so bad for me and bad for my cognitive function, and drinking alcohol as well, resorting to alcohol. Yeah, so that all is gonna, add up in the end, and I ended up being quite overweight. I for the longest time, for maybe 2.5 years from finishing college and starting that type of job until this past October, I used to weigh roughly from 198 pounds to my heaviest, which was back in October, to 205 pounds. If I have any pictures, I'll put it up on the screen. But in this video, I want to talk about how I lost 20 pounds with just intermittent fasting and keto, and essentially talk about my journey with that. In college, I first discovered keto, and I thought it was an amazing thing, and I was trying to go gun ho in it, and do all these things keto related. Oh, no, no, wait. Before in college, actually, there was a time where right before I found out about keto, I was trying many things to lose weight. I was going to the gym. I was I was trying to do cardio before workout or after workout. I was trying to think of ways to do it. I was trying to eat healthier. I was getting Subway, getting all these vegetables. I was trying to just eat better. And it wasn't until I found out about keto where I knew that was the answer. But again, I ran into hardships where I didn't know how to properly use keto. I again got too excited and jumped the gun, and I would, eat a chicken breast one day, and then I realized, okay, this kind of tastes like shit. I don't want to eat this. It tastes horrible. I can't do this, and then just resort back to my bad habits. One thing I would tell myself back then, the version of me that's trying to use keto to lose all this weight, is to understand it's more than just keto and working out. It's a combination of everything. It's a combination of having good habits, replacing bad habits with the good habits, understanding how to have keto, changing the way I view eating food, and intermittent fasting. The way I lost weight was from from after Thanksgiving in 2023 of October to right now, 2024 of whatever the day is, January. I've lost approximately 20 pounds. I was 205 pounds at my heaviest, and now I weigh roughly between 180 pounds, 179 pounds. It fluctuates, but the whole point is that I lost all that weight, and this is how. So I came across another YouTube channel. Thank God I did. His name is Dr. Berg, and he is how I got to educate myself better in the whole realm of keto. He helped me understand the importance of fasting, supplements, and food. So what I started doing was around the when I was at my heaviest was when I just got another job that just required me to walk a lot. I would have to walk around the whole area constantly for all 8 hours. Um, what I did was I started my day with a cup of coffee, um, with half and half cream. Half and half cream has no carbs, has like 1 gram of sugar or whatever, but not enough to affect you. 1 gram of carbs, I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Essentially, it's not enough to affect your keto progress. And then I would go to work. Um, I would actually use his electrolyte supplement. So I'd mix that electrolytes with water on my break. And when I felt hunger present in my body, I would just drink a lot of water. So the way I did it was different ways. So there's one way where I would fast for 3 days and then eat something with high fat and high saturated fat, high protein, and then go back uh, to fasting. That lasted up until Christmas because again, Christmas everyone's making foods and cookies or whatever. So yeah, whatever. I got off the diet, but then came back to the diet shortly after that, and now the way I'm doing it now is more so just intermittent fasting throughout the day, throughout the day. And when I get home from work, I'll have scrambled eggs with sausage or a steak or chicken thighs or something easy. So something I would tell myself back then was you don't need to think of these extravagant keto recipes and worry about like how do I make that? Oh, that's like a lot of effort to make that. Just go basic. Just make yourself a steak. Eat that steak one day and then try to limit yourself from eating. So it's a combination of limiting yourself from eating and eating the right thing. So I would eat a steak one day, not eat for 3 days, and then eat again. Or again, intermittent fasting. I won't eat the whole day, and when I get home from work, I'll eat something. Another thing to understand is changing the way you eat. A big mistake I used to make when I was in college and trying to do keto is I would try to like because when you do keto, the best way to do it and probably the only way to you should be doing it is intermittent fasting because with keto you're eating high amounts of fats which will help keep you full and high protein which obviously helps keep you full. So with that being said, it should get to the point where you don't feel hungry anymore. You shouldn't be worrying about your hunger if you're someone who constantly is eating, which was me. I was constantly eating, and actually the reason why I brought up that stressful job was because yeah, like I mentioned, I was eating a lot of carbs, but like every day after work I would go get fast food. I would get like chicken sandwiches with a Coke, like pretty much every day, sometimes twice a day, and it was, yeah, obviously my lowest, but it's a matter of getting past that. Anyways, yeah, so changing the way you view eating, my big mistake was I would go and get these keto snacks. I would get these keto snacks that obviously they're not gonna keep me full. There's tiny little bars of low carb, nonsense, which is fine, I guess, to involve that or mix it with your dinner if you want to add that as a side as a dessert type of thing. But doing that made me keep the habit of eating. So when there was days where I eat a chicken breast and I couldn't down it because it was so dry and just I can't do it. Because of the habit I had of just eating and eating, I had no choice. Well, I did have a choice, but it was very hard for me to not fall into the temptation of screw it, I'll just go get something. So yeah, once you start introducing fasting and in this type of diet, it will tremendously help you, and it will really get you results. So the way I lost so much weight within this time period was I was fasting or intermittent fasting. I was using supplements, vitamin D, all the vitamin Bs, really great for liver function, milk thistle as well, but really great for fat loss and helping your ketones use your fat and convert that to energy, which eats up your fat. Um, walking is the type of exercise that helps. I forget the scientific description of it, but to summarize it, kind of like bro knowledge, walking helps, I think, either produce a hormone, or it just helps you. It's a type of exercise where it helps you burn the fat a lot faster versus, going on the treadmill and running. Yes, that's important for cardio health and having the good stamina, but going for like a 2 hour walk is excellent. And in that job, I was walking like 8 hours straight. I would check my phone and see, one day I got 12,000 steps, 15,000 steps, 19,000 steps, stuff like that. So it's that stuff to understand. So yeah, just to summarize it, how I lost weight: intermittent fasting or fasting, eating the right types of foods, and changing the way you view food. If your body is not hungry, let's say you're deep into ketosis and your body's not hungry, why eat? Obviously, if it's like 8 days or something crazy like that, if you're not eating, yes, yeah, you have to eat something. But if it's 3 days, if you're on the third day and you don't feel hungry, go for another day. See if tomorrow you'll feel hungry, and then just gauge it like that. That's how I lost it, and I feel like no one really talks about their testimony in such a truthful manner. They're always not really telling the truth or just beating around the bush or trying to sell something. No, this is very straightforward. This is how I lost it. Fasting, keto, and yeah, changing the way I view eating. There were times where in that other 9 to 5 job I had, I did attempt to lose weight. The most I did, the most weight I lost was like almost 10 pounds. But again, it's like I emphasized bad habits. Because of my bad habits, I fell back into um, resorting to junk food or just drinking alcohol to make myself feel better because I wasn't in a good state or a good state of mind. So when thinking about weight loss and the keto diet, it's a matter of being in a good state, and like I keep saying over and over, fasting, changing the way you view eating, and eating the right food. And that's another thing I want to talk about. This is what I ate. When you are someone who has or skinny fat or who has stubborn fat, who can't get rid of fat, when you're doing keto, it's important to kind of measure the amount of fat. You don't want to put too much fat, because then your body, even if you're in ketosis, your body will just have a harder time consuming that fat and getting all that fat like digested and consuming it for energy, instead of using your own fat. What you want to do is make it so that it's just enough fat to get you through, but get your body back into the mode of consuming your own body fat, because that's what ketosis is. That's why it's called the ketogenic diet. Obviously, it's when your body's producing ketones, which consume your fat, which take away your fat, hence losing weight. So what I ate when I was doing like the 3 day fasting, on the third day or whatever, however I did it, I would get a bowl of avocado, um, mush it into a bowl. I would get a can of high quality salmon, organic salmon. I wouldn't do tuna, because tuna is good, but I've read that it has too much mercury or whatever. Salmon could be different. I didn't look into that. Maybe I should. Um, but yeah, mix that salmon in a can. It could be even fresh salmon. Doesn't matter. Mix that with the avocado. Put some salt, high quality salt. Don't get the cheap Chinese iodized salt, because it has full of chemicals and is really bad for you. I'll put the type of salt I use on the screen if I can find it. I think it's called Redmond salt or something like that. Uh, Mix it up, and yeah, if you want, add something that's low in carbs and low in sugar. I added mustard because I really like the taste of mustard. Yeah, obviously it's best to have it organic, but if you're in a situation financially where you can afford it, just try to stick with the most basic things that you can afford and that can benefit you. Because again, why put a price on your health? I'm not saying to go spend your whole paycheck on stuff. You got to be smart about it, and that's another thing I also did. That's another mistake I did back then. I used to spend my whole paycheck on chicken, all this stuff that I froze and I actually ended up throwing away. So I wasted so much money on these foods simply because I would try to get into that habit of eating it and doing the keto diet, and only to just fall flat on my face and end up having those foods frozen for like a whole year, and I end up just throwing it out, complete waste. So yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind. Be smart about how you want to plan this or how you want to buy your food. I personally, I buy it as I go, so if I know I'm going to be hungry, the place I work is very close to a Whole Foods. So I, if I say, okay, today I'm gonna eat and I'm gonna, or tomorrow if I'm gonna eat whatever, I'll go there, buy it, and either eat it the night of or prepare it the next day. So be smart about it. Don't go gun ho, because especially if you're in the beginning stage of it, don't go gun ho because you're not ready to have that responsibility and have that discipline of following through thoroughly. It starts with baby steps. So another thing I would tell my younger self is that start slowly. Don't jump in cold turkey. Don't one the like you're a week you spend the week just eating garbage, and then the next day like that you just eat a chicken breast and you think you're gonna be good for the day. That's horrible. If you're the type of person who's eating junk food and stuff, start off with stop eating that junk food, or slowly stop eating that junk food, and slowly start incorporating healthier foods. So eat scrambled eggs in the morning, and then eat a steak or fish or chicken at dinner with vegetables, like slow low carb diet. And see, try to push yourself. See, okay, am I still hungry? Can I make it through the next day without eating? And then yeah, then that's how you do it. And eventually, slowly, you start turning it into like cutting out breakfast, cutting out lunch, and then only eating in a window, a certain window of the day, which is intermittent fasting. And yeah, you just slowly build up to it. It's just like working out. You don't go in and bench press like 200 pounds. You go in warming up. You start building the muscle first, and then achieving your result. It's not gonna happen overnight. Nothing like that happens overnight. I didn't lose weight overnight. I lost it from October, whatever, to now, and it was a lot of hard work. And the reason why it might be faster than usual is because the extreme measures I took. I fasted for 3 days, which was really hard. It wasn't easy. Not everyone can do that, so that's why you got to start baby steps. Everyone's different, so gauge how you can handle it and go from there. If again, if you're not the type to be able to handle a whole day of fasting, well, fast overnight. Don't eat food right before bed. Eat your last meal around like 5 or 6, and then go to bed at 8. So then you wake up and you spend that many hours fasting, and then go from there. Oh, can I last longer? Have a cup of coffee with butter or with cream, something just to keep you a little bit full. It's not going to affect your ketosis, but yeah, it's to help you get into this route of getting somewhere better. So yeah, that's how I lost weight. Again, if I haven't shown the pictures already, I'll show you pictures. A lot of people notice, and it's very positive. It's very reinforcing when people see how your hard work pays off. People that like I haven't seen from before October, they'll still tell me, I look slimmer. And obviously, yeah, it's great, but again, it's not important to do this just to show people off. It's to do this to be the better version of yourself. And even doing keto, besides the whole weight loss aspect, doing keto is so great for your mind. You think sharper, you have better cognitive functions. You're able to fight these urges. If you're someone who's addicted to, again, junk food or alcohol, being on keto helps you control those urges, because again, you're if you're involving fasting and intermittent fasting, you're controlling yourself from doing the most basic human thing, which is eating. So obviously, an extreme example would be controlling myself breathing. That's impossible because I'll die. So you're not gonna die right away if you don't eat a meal for a day. So it's a good way to practice control, self control, and good habits. It instills discipline in you so much that you are able to realize, you know, I can fight these urges to be lazy, to not read that book, to eat junk food, to have alcohol, to just be better and work towards a better version of yourself, and be the man that you're supposed to be and fulfill your purpose as that man, because you can't do that if you're someone who has no purpose and has no drive, no discipline. You can't protect, provide for your family if you're that type of guy. So wake up and change who you are. I'm glad I did, and it doesn't stop here. I'm keep going. 180 pounds isn't my goal, and yeah, I'm not stopping. And yeah, this is just the beginning of it. And yeah, yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment, whatever. Yeah, thanks.